So this month's theme is living everyday wonder. And today's topic is embrace the now. There are over 300 centers following the 2022 global themes. We are working we are all working towards a world that works for everyone. Living everyday wonder to me is enjoying life and being curious about my surroundings and what I'm feeling. Embracing the now is about taking time to enjoy what I'm experiencing and becoming more aware of how I'm feeling in the moment. Today's affirmation is I am present with what is. I open to unlimited possibilities. And just for the record, I added the word unlimited because I know the only limitations there are the ones we set. We live in an abundant world. We are unique individualizations of the one life, and that life is God, and God is good. To be present with what is to be okay with it, whether it is what you would like to experience or not. Being open to unlimited possibilities opens up the door to the new and releases any ideas that bind us to any unwanted experiences. Here and now, we are surrounded by and immersed in an infinite good. How much of this infinite good is ours? All of it. And how much of it may we use? As much as we can embody. That comes from page 50 in the Science of Mind textbook by Ernest Holmes. Spiritual living doesn't just happen in meditation or on Sunday mornings. Spiritual living is a way of life that happens every moment of every day. It is applying spiritual truths and principles to every area of our lives on a regular and consistent basis. When we do so, life flows easier, choices are clearer, and miracles are everyday occurrences. There is wonder in every day, just waiting for us to live it. When we recognize God as our source, and we are one of that source, we become whole. From the reading today, to awaken oneself is to be healed, made prosperous, happy, and satisfied. To be made every bit whole, to be complete as we are intended to be. God is a God of the living and not of the dead. He sees and knows only perfection and completion, happiness and satisfaction. When we shall think of ourselves as God knows us, then complete salvation will come to us. I found that so important, I wanted to read it again. Now is high time to wake out of sleep. The belief in a life apart from God is a dream from which we must wake, if we are to taste the waters of reality, which flows from our source of life. As soon as we recognize God in our lives start to change. Life starts to slow down. This divine recognition allows us to enjoy everything that is in the present moment and releasing anything that is not right here, right now. So how do we do this? How do we embrace the now, especially when we are not living life, loving life, or the way we may be feeling right now? One of the hardest things to do when you're feeling discomfort is to take your focus off of that discomfort and focus on what it is you want. There are many stories and examples of people who have overcome great obstacles with the power of thought. You don't need to go through your suffering alone. When we are suffering, we need to reach out to others. We always recommend talking to a mentor, a friend, a prayer partner, or a practitioner. A practitioner can hold the truth about you until you can believe it for yourself. Together, we can recognize the intense power of our word. God, the divine, the universe, a higher power. It doesn't matter what you call it. Just know it is there, responding to our thoughts. We are working with a law that doesn't judge, it just does. Then it goes to work on our thoughts so that we can experience what it is we are thinking about. We have been conditioned to believe that we need to do all the work, that what we want is out there somewhere else, and we need to figure out a way how to get there. Like everything will be perfect when I get that new job, or I make that move to a different place, when I meet that perfect partner. What we forget is that our happiness comes from within. Our job is to remember that, to create our experiences through thinking and believing in the life that we desire. Then the hard part, leaving the how to God. Reverend Jackie Labar said this in our first service this year, that she didn't know how she was going to make the move south to live with her family. She didn't think she could afford it. She just knew it was going to happen. And sure enough, the answer was given to her. Knowing the truth of who you are and where you want to go, who you want to be, these are the things that will set you free. So now I ask you this, does life seem to be passing you by? What if there was a way to get back in the flow and experience more joy and wonder on a daily basis? I'm telling you, we can. We can step into divine flow right now, today, by embracing this very moment. This one that we are breathing into right now. This is now. This is divine recognition. This is the flow of life. Embrace it. An awareness and appreciation of this wonderment can only happen in the present. In fact, everything happens in the now, for there is no other moment. Author Mary O'Malley defines curiosity as the art of bringing our attention and our immediate experience together. And being curious in this way, by being present in the wonder, we are transformed by coming into alignment with life. She defines it as a type of mindfulness practice. Mindfulness brings us into the only moment there ever was, is, or will be, the eternal now. When each day seems the same as the next, it's because we are failing to recognize the good things that happen every day when the sun rises. As your attention becomes engaged with what is happening right now, you will discover that there is a lot going on around you that you may never notice. Curiosity and awareness brings you in direct contact with this eternal now. Eckhart Tolle says in his book, The Power of Now, too often we take life for granted and move through it on autopilot, or we sleepwalk our way through it, and life just passes us by. If we aren't present for our lives, we are missing out on life itself. He also goes on to say that it is not uncommon for people to spend their whole life waiting to start. While most of us are not doing this intentionally, many of us are in fact waiting for the next thing to happen, for that perfect job, the perfect partner, to feel better when we lose weight, to be happier once we pay off our debt, to finally be happy when we find that partner. When we pause and wait for something bigger or better to happen, our focus is on the future that hasn't happened yet. That means that we can't be fully aware of what's happening right now. You can't read a newspaper from your lap if your eyes are focused on the road ahead. We have been conditioned to identify ourselves as our thoughts and their accompanying feelings and sensations. I'm a failure because I didn't get that job. I'm a loser because I got turned down. I'm stupid because I embrace myself and embarrass myself in public. We have been conditioned to resist what we are experiencing and try to make it different than it is. There are challenges in life, but it is our mistake in identity and our resistance that manufactures them into problems that lead to struggle and suffering. When this happens, we try to control life, fix it, or change it. We're arm wrestling with a hurricane, and we can't understand why we're losing. As Ernest said, you can't solve, as Einstein said, sorry, you cannot solve the problem from the same consciousness that created it. We have to learn how to see the world anew. Who we truly are is consciousness itself. We are that which is aware, that which is the observer. So rather than using our minds to try to control life, we can pivot and start using our mind to become curious about life. Curiosity creates spaciousness and opens us to greater possibilities. Things we may have thought impossible suddenly become possible. Wondering leads to connection to the now. The freedom that we wish to experience comes directly from connecting with life, and being thoughtful and curious is the key to that connection. Curiosity is about embracing the now and observing what is right here, right now. It enables us to be present with what we are experiencing before we think about it, make up stories about it, and identify with it. The focused attention of studying enables us to rediscover our natural inquisitiveness, our eternal curiosity that has always been part of us. Zen teacher Charlotte Joko Beck, sorry if I say that wrong, said joy is exactly what's happening minus our opinion of it. Think about that one. The opportunity before us is to turn towards our experiences and challenges and be curious about them, rather than try to distract ourselves from them or change them. This allows us to access a deeper knowing by looking directly at what is happening in the now moment. As soon as you honor the present moment, we have the capacity to dissolve all unhappiness and struggle, and life begins to flow with joy and ease. When you act out of the present moment awareness, whatever you do becomes infused with a sense of quality, care, and love. True, life might be difficult. You will feel your feelings, and they are sometimes sad or angry. But by being in this present moment, engaged with the divine, the pain and sadness will not consume us. It is an experience, a feeling, but doesn't have to be life sentence. Eventually, the hard feelings pass by and become part of the past, while we embrace the present moment that can be infused with happiness. I always say that we need to remind ourselves to remember what we already know. I've been in this teaching for about 9 years now. And a few months ago, unconsciously, I was at home looking around our house. As many of you know, we've been remodeling for a few years. And I was getting overwhelmed by all the little finish work that needed to be completed before I could say we were finally done. I found myself saying things like, are we ever going to finish? Where am I going to find the time to finish? Overwhelmed. These thoughts were making me tired to the point where I'd come home and just find something to watch on TV and just tune out. But that wasn't helping either, because I was still thinking about all the things that needed to be done. And thanks to a reminder I have in our ever-present mantra, change your thinking, change your life, I was immediately reminded that I was getting exactly what I was thinking about: tired, frustrated, without direction. In that moment, I realized I had the choice and the power to think differently. I guess you could say I started living in the present moment, the now. I stopped for a minute, looked around, and I started to appreciate all the things that we had done so far. The next day, I was feeling good about that experience. I started telling myself that I had plenty of energy, the skills to finish what we started. I use the gift of imagination to feel what it would be like to see everything completed. That alone sparked something deep within me. The fact is, my brain was telling my body how it would feel, and my body was listening. Thank goodness for that disengagement, for that disengaged, stinking thinking, we call it. Only lasted a few weeks, and my body responded to my positive change of thinking. I'm more excited now than ever before to finish all of the little projects, and that stress I was feeling was dissolved with my thinking. The truth is, you have that same God-given quality within you. It starts when you embrace the now. Enjoy today and be grateful for what you have right here, right now. You are a unique individual expression of the one life, which is God, and only good comes from God. What I know to be true is that what you are thinking about and feeling in this moment sets the stage for this moment, and it also sets the stage for all future moments. So over the next 11 months, the Centers for Spiritual Living will be exploring living everyday wonder as it relates to various aspects of our lives, our inner life, play, creativity, emotions, body, relationships, nature, work, finance, home, and community. There may well be an area or two in your life where you're experiencing some challenges or wanting things to be different than they currently are. The invitation is to disrupt the inclination to try to change or fix anything. The invitation is to wonder, embrace curiosity, and be inquisitive as we explore these aspects of life through these everyday wonders. So in conclusion, take time to pause and experience what's going on around you and how you are feeling. Life can cause us to forget why it is we're even here. Use sticky notes to remind you to stay in the only moment that counts, this one. Embrace the now. By using your observer consciousness, Gene has mentioned in our meditation, do a scan of your thoughts, emotions, and body, and simply notice what is in the present, in the moment, without judgment or trying to change it. Simply notice. Bring your awareness to your present experience, is what O'Malley defined as curiosity. Notice what has your attention. What are you curious about? Notice how the thoughts or sensations are temporary and pass or change. Notice any insights you may have as a result of this practice. I love and bless each and every one of you. Namaste. I have prepared a spiritual mind treatment for us all. I invite you to close your eyes and eliminate any visual distraction and repeat after me or simply listen. I want you to embody this. Take it as your own. I know there is one source of good, and that is God, the infinite intelligence, infinite wisdom, and love. I know only good comes from this source. I know I am one with this infinite source of good, made in the same likeness and image of itself. What is true about me is also true about each and every one of you. Let us declare, I am open and available to receive more good than I can even imagine. As I slow down and appreciate them now, I make that connection with God and nature. Good flows to me from many avenues, effortlessly and joyfully. I am perfect, whole, and complete. I renew my mind daily, and I am blessed with only good. I am living in the now and enjoying every minute of every day. I am eternally grateful for the understanding of the power of my word and for the law that responds to my word. Thankful for all of my experiences that guide me through this thing we call life. I release these words to that infinite source of good that can only respond by saying yes, knowing it is already done in the mind of God. And so I let it be, and so it is. Thank you for joining us here today. It's exciting to see everyone here. I'd like you to take this and use this and pause and smell the roses. Take a moment to smell the roses, like Chris said last week. Enjoy what's going on around us. Thank you. Have a great week.